Hey guys, so I made a short video about how to basically pry open the American 1100 when using the American bypass tool if it doesn't quite fit in there, and I kind of just wanted to go over it in a long form video and explain a little better and show you kind of in detail what's going on and also show you the difference between using this bypass tool on an actual 1100 and using it on an 1100 clone, because the difference is quite a bit. So let's get into it and let me show you what I mean. First things first, let's just look at how it works on an American 1100 clone. Now, if you've never used the bypass tool before, then you need to understand that in some of these types of locks, there is a little wafer that goes underneath the kick cylinder here, and it blocks your access to behind the lock. But when you don't have that, you can actually press this bypass tool flag facing kind of away from the pins, so you don't want it to be facing up toward the pins, you want it facing away, and you're basically going to insert it into the bottom of the keyway there all the way back. You're going to kind of feel it stop. Now that's the back of the lock. You still need to get it a bit further, so you're just going to push it in a little bit further until you get past the core, because you want it to be right where the actuator is. Okay, and then you're going to turn. Now you're just turning it like a key. It's going to kind of feel weird. You might actually feel like it's going to break, but as long as you have it in the correct place and you are behind the core there and you're on the actuator and you turn it, it will open. Remember that these cores have spring tension, so when you turn the key, you know about how hard you're going to have to turn your bypass tool to get that to work, right? You know, just like you would your tension tool when picking it, you've got to use some force to get the core to turn. Same thing when using the bypass tool. However, with these clones, there's a lot of space back here, and you can actually get this kind of twisted, and you might get into kind of like a panic on that, but usually you can get them, right out. Now, if you try it on just an 1100, if you've got one where it's a little bit too tight to get this past the back of the core, you need to actually pry open an area to be able to fit this in there, and you just need to get it right past that core back where the actuator is so you can actually turn it. Now, I don't know why it's so tight sometimes, but it's just not allowing this to fit through there. So that's when you're going to use something to kind of make that space a little bit wider, enough that you can fit your tool in there. So basically, we're just going to take a piece of a old lockpick. These are just bent up pieces from the Covert companion that I got when I was out there, but you're just going to take one and place it into the keyway, and you just need to pry that open in the back there, so you kind of have to get it positioned just so. It doesn't got much left until it breaks, but we're going to try it anyways. Okay, and then you're just creating a big enough gap in the back. It's all you're doing is prying that apart back there so you can slip this into that little spot to get the bypass tool in. It might not work anymore. I think I'm out of space. Maybe not. There it is. This pick works because it's very thin, so you can slide this in between where you have to go. Then as you turn it, this part kind of pries it open enough to get this to be able to slide through, and then you can use it to bypass your American 1100. And that is it. I hope you found that a little bit helpful, and if you have any questions or want to leave any comments, please do so down below. I will leave a link to the Covert Instruments. This is actually their beautiful American 1100 cutaway. I'll leave a link to this and the American 1100 bypass tool that they have at Covert Instruments. I'll leave a link to that as well in the description of this video. If you do like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe for some more Locksport tips and tricks.